Hey y'all, and welcome to the Sorry Not Sorry Generation podcast, where we bring you a not so healthy dose of humor and reality as we get our hands dirty with some serious nostalgia and question everything.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so at this point, we have gotten to, Edward's left. He's gone. And we've gotten to the point where Edward left. She got ditched in the fucking woods and lost. And at the time, the only werewolf, which was actually, I should stop saying werewolf. I should say shapeshifter, because they're not werewolves, they're shapeshifters. And there's even a difference, in the Twilight movies. They even say that, they're not werewolves, they're shapeshifters. But the only shapeshifter at the time has to find her in the woods after she gets ditched. She has ditched all of her friends. She doesn't want to ever leave Forks because she wants to wait for Edward forever until he comes back. Instead of doing the logical thing with maybe moving on with your life, getting therapy, or looking for another vampire who will turn you. Which if you're gonna be a vampire that bad, just go find another one. Yeah.
I'm sure there's more.
Yeah. It's just okay. So handling everything in the most unhealthy way possible. She then decides to go and buy a bunch of motorcycles so that she can go really fast, put herself in danger, and hallucinate, which I feel like would have been succeeded by just maybe buying some hallucinogens instead, which might have just been a more effective way to do that. She then proceeds to more or less get in a relationship with Jacob for a while. And in the books, it's really creepy, the way she's super attached to him in this parasite kind of way.
Parasitic kind of way.
Yeah, she's just he's my son, and the only reason I feel warm, and the only reason the gaping hole in my chest, feels warm anymore. And when he's not around, the cold takes over. And it's just that is the weirdest thing to say. And also super unfair to Jacob, because he's definitely in love with you and you know it, and you don't give a fuck.
No.
So
she don't, and that's just mean.
It is. It's really, Jacob is so nice, and he's only
such
cares.
A sweetheart.
He only cares, and it's just but no, you're just destroying this boy over and over again, and wasting your college fund on some motorcycles, by the way, which is total bullshit. But hey, she doesn't want to go to college anymore because she just wants to stay in Forks forever. Granted,
in the hopes that he comes back.
Yeah, in the hopes that he one day comes back. Seriously.
Move on, child.
Yeah.
Move on.
It's look, I get first love and everything is the hardest or whatever, apparently. But Charlie should have gotten her therapy after the first week. First of all,
after the first week of screaming, yeah.
Yeah, she screams every night in her sleep. Definitely should have gotten her therapy after the first 2 or 3 nights. Maybe should have just considered to get her therapy anyway, because her boyfriend left her in the woods when he broke up with her, and his family moved the same day. That's really weird. Also, could you imagine how terrifying it would be if your daughter's boyfriend's whole family moved and the same day your daughter goes missing? You would just assume they'd murdered her. Right? No questions. She's dead. That's what you would have to think. And no, they find her in the woods because Edward left her in the woods. No. I would have, if I was Charlie, I would have just been okay, week 1 is over. You're screaming every night in your sleep. You need therapy and your mother. I'm sending you to Jacksonville. This isn't up for debate. Go to Jacksonville. I would have driven her to Jacksonville. Well, no, I wouldn't, because that's
take her to the airport and just drop her off right there and be get to your gate.
I wouldn't trust her to get on the fucking plane. I'd fly out there with her and deliver her to her mother. There you go. It's you need your mother and you need therapy in whichever order you would like, but you need both. And that's just such bullshit. That is such bullshit. I just feel it's bad parenting, but at the same time, it's just not good.
None of it is good.
None of it is good.
Look, with more screaming.
Like, she screams every night for months. Like, that's trauma. That is absolute trauma.
See, even your dad just like, Jacob's the better option here. You feel
Yeah.
more alive.
Like, Jacob wouldn't ditch you in the woods.
Terminal bachelor.
Charlie Swan, the famous ladies' man, apparently. Though he does get married at some point, so. Charlie's so underestimated, like, as a character.
No, he's only asking you, what would you do if I said I could not fix these bikes? Just be
It's
like,
like,
ditch me?
he's asking if you're using him, is what he's
Right?
doing.
Would you ditch me? Like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't see you for the past 3 months because
Yeah.
I'm
What he's
useless to
asking is
you?
just like, are you only interested in me for the fact that I can fix these?
It's called Salmon is called. Oh, child, if you only knew. I love how Jacob's like, relax. They always go cliff jumping.
I love how she just runs in the street.
Yeah, Embry missed some school and now he's Sam's acolyte.
Yeah,
I wonder what's going on there.
yeah, no shit. Granted, my first thought wouldn't be he turned into a werewolf. Let's be real. If I'm with Jacob, my first thought would have been like weird cult or like blackmail, not he's a supernatural creature.
Look
I
at
would
that
never
dive.
I would never cliff dive like that. It's
No,
so
I don't even want to
dangerous.
go base jumping like with a
Yeah.
bungee. No, I would rather go skydiving.
I wouldn't do any of those things.
See, I want to go skydiving. That's on my list because I am strapped to a human, a professional who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I am strapped to them physically. I
That's
cannot
fair.
leave. They're in charge of the parachute.
That's yeah,
So,
okay. Like if
so
it's
I'm good
somebody
with,
else.
and I
Yeah.
love free falling. So that is like perfect for me. But my logic when it comes to like base jumping
Hmm.
or like stuff like that with the bungee, like
Yeah.
my brain goes, my fat ass is gonna snap the bungee and I'm gonna come back and smack my head on like the bottom of the bridge that I just jumped out of.
My issue with it is always, besides the absolute way that just has to be painful to do it, to bungee jump like that, is like, look, we've both worked in retail. How diligent are employees? They're not. That's the answer to that. And how concerned with the state of the product are employers? No, they're not. How many times did things break when we worked in the cafe? How many times did
Oh
they
my
not give a fuck
god.
that it was broken and we couldn't get anything fixed? How often do you think they're replacing those bungee cords or just being like, it'll be fine? Absolutely not. I don't trust those things for the quality and that they are being replaced when they need to. Because I absolutely believe somebody's going to let me bungee jump from something that is mostly broken because they don't want to buy a new one and spend the money. Like I
Like,
know.
can't we just spend the money and get a new machine before, everything else breaks and we start losing customers and you get mad at us for this? Like, come on.
Yeah. Like
No.
no. I want a cookie.
Go get a cookie.
Maybe. Don't tell me to get a cookie.
Get a
I'll get
cookie.
Don't be rude. Oh, I see your kitty cat. I see your kitty.
Oh, there, cookie. Yeah. And look, a cookie. You call Cookie.
Is that his name?
Her name is Cookie.
I
Oh, look, here she
didn't know
comes.
that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
God damn it! Now I want a cookie. She's cute though. Wait a minute. How is Cat me? How's the cat version of me?
She's good.
It's good.
Hangs out in her little bed at in mom's room.
Avoiding everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, my parents had their door closed, and Missy was like out in the living room, just looking at me like, "I miss my spot."
That's fair. Like
And I'm
both
just
human
like,
me and cat me are very attached to what we think is ours. So
and I'm
yeah.
just like, Misty, I miss having you socialize. Like you used to hang
Yeah.
out under, like you used to hang out in the living room, and I used to see you. That's how you would get pets. Now you're just over there.
Even the cat version of me is not a social creature.
What's hilarious is though she used to be the outdoor cat, and I finally brought her in one year. It took her a while to adjust, but now when the door is open, like she'll go and look and be like, "What's out there?" And then maybe she'll go outside for like a minute, just a minute, like a
Mhm.
couple feet out, and then run right back and like, "Nope, nope, I don't like it."
Look, we have gotten used to the luxury and we don't appreciate the outdoors anymore. We understand what air conditioning is now, so we will not be going outside anymore. That is a message directly from me and kitty cat me, okay? Like I speak for her in this moment. There is no going outside. She doesn't like it. I don't like it. We don't want to socialize with anybody. Leave us to our spot and leave us alone. That is how both cat version and human version of Misty work. I love her. I have never met her, but I hope she knows she is absolutely adored by this version of her of another species. It's
She
very
just
nice.
hangs out there. She's like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Yeah, we're good. We don't need to be out there. I'm gonna go
Do you
get
want
a
your cookie or
cookie.
no?
Yeah,
Okay.
fuck you. I want a cookie now. It's your fault.
We're officially getting on the bikes now.
It's only been
Near
54 minutes and we're just getting to the riding of
Oh
the
my god,
bikes.
it's 2.5 hour long movie. It's longer than Twilight. Great. I did not realize they were like near a marsh.
Are they near? They're near a
There's
marsh.
a giant body of water.
Could be a lake. It is Washington.
That's true.
Or it could be a marsh. That is a lot of mud.
Yes, let's go biking on mud with no
Yeah.
traction.
Why can't he just take it her to like a road, like an actual real road?
I don't know. Release the clutch.
How does Jacob not notice her like really weird behaviors of like
I
hallucination?
mean, he does, but he's just like, what the
He's
fuck
so
do
in
I
love
do
with her.
with
He's just
this?
like, I'm gonna ignore it. It's fine. It's fine.
You're gonna eat. You're gonna squid out. Like,
Also, her hair is not moving nearly enough for going as fast as she is.
right? Hit the brake as
She's like 20 feet from him. He
she
gets on his
fucking bounced
motorcycle.
into that rock.
I mean, she get thrown into a lot of things. She was thrown into many walls and many mirrors in the first one. She's thrown into a wall in this movie and a table.
See, you can be with Jacob and bleed and not have to worry about someone ripping into your throat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just blood, Bella.
So he takes his shirt off.
Hello.
She's bleeding, and his first thought is, yeah, let me just take my whole shirt off and so I can press it against your head. And it, like he doesn't clean any of it up. He just actually spreads the blood around. But needed to take his shirt off.
He's trying to enforce like this is what you're missing.
Yeah.
How hard did you hit your head? Not hard, honey. She's already been that dense. She's been that
Yeah.
dense since she was born.
Honestly.
And I love how they're just like, "Oh, you're talking to us now?"
Mm-hmm. Mike is honestly just such an asshole.
Mike is your typical oblivious teenage boy.
A jock, yeah.
Yes, he is your typical jock.
Mm-hmm. His first thing, the very
Why
first
are you
thing
asking her out on a date when your girlfriend's right there, or did they break up?
I don't think they were together at that point. I don't really know. But like his first thought, the very first time she goes and sits back with him, is like, I'm just gonna ask her on a date. She seems to not be unhappy or depressed or anything anymore. So I'm just gonna now that she's good, now I can talk to her again. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Oh yeah, she asked him to go see Face Punch, that movie
Uh-huh.
where like it's I guess really gory, and he walks out like
He gets
in the
sick.
middle of it, like
He gets really sick. Yeah.
he gets squeamish, and she's just like, "God damn it." Jessica's just like, "I will go wherever Mike goes."
She's just, but at the same time, she's like, I don't want to go anywhere with Bella again. Like, fuck that.
Last time I went out with Bella, she went on a bike with strangers.
Yeah, like she ran off with like some strangers. So, hi, Bucky.
He's being such a dick to Jacob. Are you old enough to see this movie? Like, he's a year younger than you.
The most awkward movie to have been watched, honestly. Bella.
Which one? The one they're watching, or we watching them?
The second most awkward movie is the one she's in.
Look,
We're
Jacob
having-
is smiling, Bella is uncomfortable, and Mike is like, I'm gonna fucking like vomit. And they both have their hands open on the armrest, and she's in the middle. They're just like, someone They're just like, please, Bella, touch
The
my
most
hand.
awkward, uncomfortable thing, and they're both just sitting there with their arm up,
Good.
just like
Goodbye,
waiting for
Mike.
her to grab their hand, and then Mike just leaves because he gets sick everywhere. Also, look at that door. That's a wow. That is an old door.
That makes weaker men vomit. Like again, Jacob is checking off all the boxes.
True. Like but that's what you want in somebody who doesn't get sick while watching a action movie.
Do you like me? Yes.
What?
Sort of beautiful.
I
Do you
forgot
think
she
I'm sort
said
of
that.
beautiful?
I forgot she said that. It's like, you think I'm sort of beautiful. I'm like, that's such a weird thing to say.
What is it with this movie and mirrors everywhere?
And why is everything a shade of orange, in all honesty?
The boy is telling you he's into you and he's not going to give up trying to woo you. And you're still, like, obviously pining for this man who's like, I don't want you no more.
This man who you hallucinate. It's just like, come on, give Jacob a chance. And I think in the later books, Jacob states more than once that, like, if given a little more time, like, he would have been able to, like, be with her and, like, help her move on and everything. And it would have been too late for Edward to come back. And, like, I kind of wish that had happened. Like, I wish Edward had come back, like, a year or two later, and, like, Bella had just grown up and moved on with her life. Or gone to therapy. For, like, the Stockholm Syndrome bullshit that's happening to her.
Edward comes back 2 years later and she's already got, like, she's made it to Jacob, got, like, a big old pop print on her.
Yeah.
She's pregnant with, like, she's running hot now. She's not running cold. She's running hot. Like, she's...
Like, definitely should have gone with Jacob.
I'm
Much
sorry,
better choice.
but no, you cannot be that intimate. Put your head on his shoulder after he just tells you he's not gonna stop chasing you, and you're just like, I need you as, like, my friend.
Yeah, and then Mike ruins everything by showing back up.
Mike just needs to stop. What's your problem?
Why is every guy that Bella knows an overly aggressive weirdo?
Well, Jacob is going through his change, and he's not aware of it.
Jacob is getting his period, okay?
Jacob is getting his period.
And he has hot flashes and he feels nauseous. Like, there you go.
You just, like, he's turning into an animal, literally. And so he's going off an animalistic thing. So I get that. Like, I get it with being a were animal, especially a wolf, and how everything's the pack and, the sense and the marking and everything. I get that.
Yeah.
I can respect it.
And I can understand, like, the nausea and the hot flashes and everything.
I just can't validate Edward's alpha maleness. Like,
yeah. Edward is toxic alpha male, where Jacob is just like there's different types of alpha male. There's the alpha male there's the alpha male in quotation marks guy who thinks he's the alpha male because he's, like, strong and tough and, like, like, he's rich and, like, all this. Then there's an actual alpha male.
Christian Grey?
Yes, I do. Considering it's Twilight fanfiction, yes, I do. But then there's Jacob, who is alpha male in what alpha male is supposed to mean. Like, somebody who's actually responsible for other people, who takes care of other people, who's somebody you can depend on. And, like, the person who leads because he's the most qualified and trusted to do so. Not because he's, like, some toxic, like, I'm tougher than everyone else bullshit. No, that's not how actual wolf packs work, let alone anything else. Like, if you are just the toughest asshole around, that doesn't make you the alpha. The alpha's the one who has to take care of the whole pack. And Edward isn't capable of taking care of himself, let alone somebody else.
We already know who the alpha is there. It's Carlisle.
Yeah, like, Edward ditched a girl in the woods. Like, he is not alpha of anything. He's an asshole. He's an alpha asshole is what he is. Jacob is, like, the actual definition of an alpha male. At least once he, like, transforms and everything, because he has all of those, like, protective instincts and everything, while still like while not being a toxic asshole at the same time.
I don't have to. I love Billy. I don't have to go fishing today. Yes, you do.
That's Henry, isn't it? Billy's in
Oh yeah,
the
Billy's in the
wheelchair.
wheelchair. I'm
This is
sorry,
Henry Clearwater.
Henry. Yes. I don't have to go fishing. Yeah, you do.
Like her dad has more friends than she does. Like, let's be honest. Honestly, why is his choice of clothing jeans? Wouldn't it make more sense just to be wear like
I mean, there he is with his big
swim
old tattoo
trunks
on
and
his arm and his
everything?
short hair.
Yeah. They don't have the
Yes, he got a
tattoos in the
tattoo.
they don't have the tattoos in the book, right?
I don't remember.
I don't think they have the tattoos in the book. I don't remember. Wasn't the rain in this scene artificial? I can't remember.
Probably.
Like, I like how she's being ditched for the second time by her second guy she's interested. He's just like, no, I don't like you anymore. Leave me alone. Twice. Girl got a complex.
In the movies, they all have it on their right shoulder. Yeah, it looks like it's just a movie thing.
That's what I thought.
That they all have tattoos now.
Yeah, that's what I thought. See, she's ditched, but the second guy is like, we can't be friends anymore. We can't be together anymore. It's not you, it's me.
It's me. You already told her about the fucking vampire myth. Mm-hmm. Tell her you're a werewolf.
Why does everybody just keep absolutely everything? Like, I get why in the scene in the rain, why he keeps this from her when she first sees him, and he's cut all of his hair off and everything. Because like the other pack members are like right there and within hearing range of her, but like you could have just talked to her. In all honesty, of course, I don't know how pissed you would be if understanding that this is happening to you because of the Cullens, and she knew about them. But what's really weird to me is that after the Cullens leave is when they all start transforming. Like, the vampires aren't there anymore.
Yeah, the vampires aren't there. Like, they keep, like, from what he said before, like, part of the, like, lore is that the tribe, like, the transformations or whatever get, become more and more when there are more threats coming in to keep the pack of werewolves
it's not
equal to the pack of vampires.
Yeah, because like it's not, they didn't become shapeshifters because of the vampires. They were already shapeshifters, and like that predates the Cullen arrival or any other vampire arrival. So it just kind of disappeared because there weren't any more threats. But it comes back after the Cullens leave. That's kind of weird. I don't know if I've ever actually walked upon like a field of wildflowers. I don't know if I've ever actually.
I live in a big old city.
Desert. Yeah.
I live in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no fields of green here.
No. And like
I can walk into fields of dirt and brush fire.
Honestly, that's the way Texas was, and Pennsylvania's frozen half the time, so
when I first went to Philly, I drove in with my mom. Like we're driving like on like the left side, they're just like rocks. We're just driving by rocks and shit. And my mom is like, "Look at this! Water is just trickling out of the rocks here." She's like, "I gotta bottle this and send it home. We're in a drought."
Yeah.
Hello. What's his name?
Look, she sees Laurent.
Laurent.
What are the odds he's in this field that she's in? Like, she goes to find like her and Edward's field. She finds it, and Laurent just happens to be there.
Isn't that
kind of weird?
Isn't he like tracking Sylvie? What the fuck's her name?
Victoria.
Victoria.
I like
lie better.
Like, the vision of Edward, he's like, lie better. You're really shitty at this. But like,
you're really bad at this. Do it better.
Like, if Laurent wanted to find her, her dad's the sheriff. Everyone knows where he lives. Just find her dad, follow him home one day. Go to her school, follow her home one day. Why do you have to go to a field?
You already have her scent. Fucking just follow it.
Yeah, like, why do you have to go to a field?
Are you still under the protection of the Cullens?
Well, the Cullens can't protect themselves, let alone somebody else. And they do a shit job of protecting her.
Right? Tell you the truth, I don't think Edward's coming back, girl.
No, like, you gotta let that go.
You are so mouth-watering.
That's a really gross thing to say. Honestly,
I'm
Laurent
doing
killing
you
her
a
would have been a
kindness.
kindness. Yeah, like it would have been a kindness. Just
It
put
would have been
her
such a
on.
kindness to fucking turn her. Like, it just let her turn, and then no one
Yeah.
will, like, she will not be a fragile human anymore. You don't have to worry about her dying. Or,
If
like,
Edward would have just let her change in the first movie, we would have avoided all of this.
Edward, I love you. Growl. There's a giant wolf.
Honestly, it's just like, no, you should be thanking Jacob for that shit. Have you ever seen the wolves without the CGI for the scene?
Yes, they look
Yes.
fucking ridiculous.
Why are you trying to pretend it's a wolf?
Is that Sam in the front?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jacob's rusty brown color.
Yeah. There he is.
Yeah.
Fucking making of this is ridiculous.
The really slow CGI
Oof.
stuff is weird. That had to hurt. Yeah, it's just like, Bella, you need to fucking run, girl.
At least she was smart enough to run. Usually, I'm sure if she just sit there and be like,
Yeah, usually in scenes where like the girl is in danger or whatever, she just stands there and remains in danger and doesn't leave. Or if she's running, she just trips and then doesn't get up and just scrambles on the ground for like 20 minutes because she can't figure out how to stand anymore. At least Bella, I will give her credit, turned around and ran. Like she ran. So, but it might be the only smart thing she does the whole series.
Who was the one that comes up with the smart idea that she needs to be drinking blood while pregnant because the baby is just drinking her dry?
Rosalie. I think it's Rosalie.
Because I was like, in my head, I'm like, there's no way I can give Bella that credit. She's an idiot.
I thought it was her at first, and I'm like, but I think it was Rosalie who did it.
Makes sense because Rosalie accepts that there's a baby now, and I've always wanted a baby, so this is my opportunity to have a baby.
Yeah, and like I understand Rosalie a lot better now, like as an adult, but I still don't like her because she's so obsessed with like wanting Bella to have the human experience and the human life of like getting married and having kids and everything. It's like, well, that's not for everybody. You don't get to decide that she's missing out on that just because you did. Like, what if that's not something she wanted out of her life, and it's not something she wanted out of her life? In fact, I'm still kind of pissed that they gave her a kid because she didn't want one. She just wanted to be a vampire. So why give her a kid? What was the point of that?
Because sex before marriage, no sex before marriage. You get married, you have sex. The whole
One
point is to have a
time.
baby.
You
The whole point of getting married is to procreate.
Like you have sex one time and you have a baby. It's just like, Lord, it's back. It's back.
They're not bears, Dad. Henry's just like, keep your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
No, they won't. They'll rip his head off.
Like, even if they were normal giant wolves, there's a lot of them and they're huge. So, like, they have a chance, at least, even as normal, if they were normal wolves out of that size against a vampire. Her immediate assumption that they're just dead is kind of real rude to the wolves.
Insult to injury.
Yeah. Who goes to bed with jewelry on like that? And in that extraordinarily awkward position.
Oh, her dream catcher that Jacob made?
Mm.
I'd put that, like, on the wall.
Yeah, where it's supposed to be. How would nobody hear that? He just hits the side of their house like 6 times when he crawls up into her room. Just climb up the tree and then climb in her room. A person could do that.
I'm sorry. And then her first reaction is, I'm gonna touch you right by the belly button.
Oh, she immediately aims for the abs. Like, let's be real. We have got to watch Vampire Sucks when we're done with this. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
I'm in.
Obviously, you know about the vampires, so yeah.
Right? It's like, I wasn't supposed to tell you about that either, but I did. You could tell her about the werewolves.
Honestly.
What? Like, why are you so close to him? Why are you pulling his hair? Why are you, like, about to kiss him on the forehead? Like, you're not doing anything to help yourself.
Honestly.
Just leading this poor boy on. Bella, use your brain and figure it out. Yes. Ouch. The cold one is all she remembers.
I wonder how much oil they put on this man for this scene. He's very shiny.
I mean, I would 100% sign up for that job. Just be like, what's your job? I get to stand on set and just oil up these lovely bodies.
There you go. Get paid for
Just
that.
run
You
my
could not
hands
get
over their
paid for that.
abs.
Like,
Can't just run away from being a wolf.
He's in a cult now, honey. Sorry.
He's in Sam's cult.
I think the biggest disservice Stephanie Meyer did to these wolves is the fact that they can't change with their clothes. Like, they have to just store clothes around places. And I was just like, that's...
I mean, that's...
You can make your own magical world and you don't even let them change with their clothes. Like, come on.
Yeah, like, I mean, a lot of the shifter stories that I've read,
yeah,
a lot of them are like that. Like, they keep their pants, but they always have, like, they always rip out of their shirts. They always gotta find new shirts.
Yeah, the ones
why the pants stay, I don't know, but the shirts get destroyed, beyond me.
Yeah, it's the way most of the ones that I read are too. But like, I just feel like you have your own magical world. You could have just given them the ability to just transform with what they have on. Is she waking up in the woods again? Yeah.
She's hallucinating.
Well, yeah, but I just kind of assume everything she's seeing is a hallucination anymore.
Wolves. Hello. Wolves.
I like how the very end of that scene with like her hallucinating the wolves is just the sound of a horse snorting.
A horse neighing. He's sleeping, girl. Here come the pack.
Here comes the cult.
Just the balls this dumbass girl has to like go accusing a bunch of guys shirtless, like hauling ass to Jacob's house. We're like, what did you do?
She fully thinks they're werewolves.
Oh, and she slaps him.
Yeah,
she fucking
and she's
slaps
willing
Sam.
to go and confront them, and she slaps one of them. When she slapped, didn't she slap Embry? Or no, Paul.
That wasn't Sam yet.
Yeah, it was Paul.
He's one of the new ones.
To put on shoes.
There's Sam. What do you mean, Jacob Run? He's clearly one of them.
Obviously, he's one of them.
He's just like them. He has the same fucking tattoo. Like, how do you not put the pieces together?
Why did Jacob's wolf change colors between the earlier scenes and these scenes? Because now he's more like a maroon red than like a rustic he's a darker, brown.
Yeah,
he's a maroon color now, and he was a brown before. Like, nobody's gonna hear all of the wolf sounds.
The wolf's out of the bag.
Like,
oh my god.
She goes to Jacob's house for the purpose of confronting him about the fact that she thinks he's a werewolf, right? And I'll give her credit. Like, most people think werewolfism is transferred by people, like, biting you and stuff like that. So she has every right and reason to think that, like, Sam and his pack of cult, people thought, like, that they bit him and, like, they transformed him without his, like,
consent
permission.
Or whatever, yeah.
And, like, so, like, she's totally on point with that because that's what happens with werewolves. And so, like, she goes, but then the absolute audacity of this girl to, like, walk up to 4 jacked, shirtless men she thinks are werewolves and just to yell at them, and then she slaps
them in the face.
Like, the audacity is actually impressive, to be honest. Like not a lot about Bella is impressive, but her audacity and to slap a werewolf in the face is something else. I'll give her that.
And a young one.
Yeah. Well, she
wouldn't know, but
yeah, she slaps Paul, which is the literal worst choice because he's the one with the least amount of control and the one with the big anger, like, management problem. So,
I would much rather either date a werewolf or be a werewolf. At least in this world, than a vampire.
Well,
like, I would still love to be Fae. I would love to be Fae and have some ridiculous wicked powers, but
that's fair.
I would not mind being a shifter.
I don't know if I'd want to be one of these world's shifters, just because, like, as a person, I have a temper, and I just definitely feel like I'd out myself as a werewolf by just shifting at, like, an inconvenient, especially while in customer service. Like,
shift in the middle of a fucking customer tirade.
Just shift in the middle of a shift. Just be like, I don't know if I'd want to. I think I would in this world. I would prefer to be a vampire. Well, no, because then you can't eat, and like I can't taste matcha anymore. What's the point?
I love chocolate.
Yeah,
I want to be able to have this metabolism and enjoy all the foods I
that's a
like
good point.
and still be jacked.
And as we learned from Leia, when you regularly transform, one, you stop aging, and two, you don't have your period anymore. So, like, okay, I'll learn to control my temper if I get those things, and
Right?
I could eat a lot of Subways. Like, I could eat so much. I could eat so
You
much
could
Panda
have all your
Express.
tea and it wouldn't affect you.
Oh my god, I could have so much Panda Express.
The wolf girl.
Also, I just think it would be really nice to like be imprinted upon. You know, like if a wolf, like because like it's such a sweet
I love the
concept.
idea of mating. Like when
Yeah,
you find like when you're part of like the supernatural world and like
yeah. It's one of the
and you
reasons, like,
find your mate.
yeah, it's one of the reasons like shifter books are like my favorite when they do stuff like that. I love it. It's just like because there's a difference between being somebody's like girlfriend or wife and being their mate. Like there's a
Right?
difference. It's a much better difference.
Oh yeah, vampires are fast. And you wolves aren't. It's like we could rip their heads off
Why is
with
Jacob
our
the only
teeth.
one who got jacked with the transformation? Like his friends are not jacked. Like Sam's jacked, but like Embry and Quill, who are sitting at the table, are not jacked.
Right?
You should like Paul comes through the door and he does apologize for the fact that like he tried to eat her basically, but like she maybe also should have apologized for just slapping him in
Slapping
the
him
face.
in the face.
Yeah,
It's like we're not friends, but sorry I slapped you.
but like they had been
in.
living there. Like Jacob's like when the vampires move into town, like that's when everybody starts to transform and everything. The issue is that like the Cullens had been living there for a little while before before the like they started to transform and
Yeah.
everything. So why is it just now happening?
I'm guessing it's because Laurent showed up and like stayed for like longer than X amount of time. So
But
they're just like
why wouldn't it happen with the Cullens then? Because
because
were
they
there
had
for
a
years.
pact with the Cullens, remember?
Hmm.
They
I
had
don't
a
know.
pact with them. It's like you stay here on your part of the land and like don't cross whatever marker they had. And like it's fine. And like because it's just been the Cullens for so long, the pack never got bigger. But now that
Yeah.
the Cullens are gone and the and what is it like, yeah, and I wonder if it's because Laurent and stuff are like normal vampires, they're not vegetarians, if that also
Maybe.
has anything to do with it.
But like Sam, I think transformed before Laurent showed up because he'd been one for a couple of years by
Sam,
himself.
yeah, Sam was one of the first ones. That was still when the Cullens, like, that was before Bella even showed up.
Yeah, so like he transformed beforehand, and so like because like he transformed a couple years like beforehand because he did it solo for quite a while, and then as more vampires started to show up, like that's when everybody else started to transform. Maybe it just took a while because the other people with the gene had to hit puberty first.
Yeah.
Because technically, like Jake's dad and like their dads would have all had the gene too, but maybe they were just past a point where it could activate in them because they were so much older. And
I
then
think
so you
it
had
goes
to
over
wait.
this in the book, doesn't it? Like
I don't,
why it goes to the kids and not the older ones.
I know it addresses it in the guidebook. I know it does that
Okay.
because it actually goes into depth about the wolves. But yeah.
Is she talking to Alice?
Yeah, you know how she constantly emails Alice all of the
Oh,
time.
so was my toxic boyfriend. He's gone too.
Mm.
Yes.
Also, that was a really small paw print for that big of a wolf.
I feel like the older generation has like the scent and everything. Like they
Yeah.
have the heightened senses.
Yeah.
But they don't
Like,
have the like they didn't go through the fever to like to change.
yeah, because like it's probably the change is probably something that hits them around puberty, and if it doesn't, then it just doesn't activate. So once their bodies stop like having those kinds of hormones, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, I guess this is why they started like multiplying in the pack, because there's fucking Victoria.
Yeah, and like I think they started changing too because like they didn't do it before because they weren't old enough. They were too young to change.
Yeah.
And then because I think the youngest one is Seth and he changes it
15?
14, 14 or 15, yeah. And which is fair because Bella's 18 and Jacob's younger than she is by like 2 years or something like
I thought
that.
it was a year. I thought he was 17.
Yeah, it's like a year or two. I know that. So it would make sense that it has to happen around puberty. Charlie loses a friend in every movie, or at least the first 2 movies. Like somebody, one of his friends specifically dies.
Because of this redheaded cunt.
Mm.
What was her thing again? Her superpower? She just what? Super fast or untrackable?
Hard to catch.
Hard to catch.
Yeah, it was hard to keep her trapped. It was one of the reasons that because when she was little, like I don't know, people murdered her family and everything, and like so she kept trying to escape, and she had a knack for escaping. And when she became a vampire, it just became that much more difficult for her to be caught. So that's her power. She has the issue, and like they never actually address it until you read the guidebook.
Oh, yeah, and then she gets into the water, and then they lose her scent. I know you're upset, Jacob. She went into the water.
At
You
least
can't
Jacob's
follow her.
wolf has gone back to being the right color. Instead of that weird maroon color, it was like for only the fight scene between him and Paul.
Just the fucking the way they did it though. It's like, here, be in this giant suit with a bunch of green bubbles on you, and like
Yeah.
Bella, now pet him.
Yeah, just petting some dude in like spandex. It's just like, here you go. Pretend it's a wolf. Good doggy. Good doggy.
Instilling kinks early on.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. I mean, she doesn't need help in that department, so at all. How far through the movie do you think we are?
We are, I want to say we're just over an hour. We are an hour and a half.
Ooh.
We got an hour left. We can do this.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's going a lot faster now that we're like not pausing and playing.
And for the fact that we're not having to spend an hour trying to set it up
That
get
too.
it connected.
That fucking too.
Yeah, so you know, that's good. So and we just talk since like the recording doesn't pick up the movie, we just talk over it. I do feel like I'm gonna have to go back and put a couple of like scene notes in here, like you know, in the scene where like
I'm trying.
You are like I'll give it credit, but you and I tend to just like keep going and like talking, and then we'll just make. The thing is we make just little comments at the things that we're looking at that I'm just gonna have to cut out because they just don't make any sense. Because like
this fucking commercial for the Iron Chef, and like it just, I don't want to see you pulling out an octopus.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Leave that creature in its tank. Throw it back in the ocean.
I feel bad for seafood.
So do I, but I do like calamari.
And then she makes the worst decision of her life, and she decides, in the middle of all this chaos and being hunted by a vampire, what is she gonna do? She's gonna go fucking cliff diving like a dumbass.
Her stupid little smile when she hears his voice being like, "Don't do this." She's like, "Oh, there he is. You're delusional."
She is delusional.
You won't stay with me any other way. It just, you have a wolf. You have someone that can warm you up rather than.
She jumps into this water, fully clothed, shoes and everything, and it's just like, what is wrong with you?
I'm surprised she didn't hit her head on any rocks.
Well, that comes in a minute, though. Like, you gotta wait for her to see Victoria first and get her ass pummeled by a wave. Like, Jacob said that everybody else jumps from lower down for a reason. You also definitely don't go cliff diving by your fucking self.
Did you not notice that everybody went cliff diving was in a pack?
It is just like, and cliff diving just as a whole is just super fucking dangerous.
Here comes the redhead.
And like the dumbest thing she could possibly
Then
do
she gets her head knocked.
is freak the fuck out while underwater, and she smashes her own head against a rock. Like Victoria didn't have to do a damn thing to kill you. You just killed yourself.
No, she's
like,
giving herself to Victoria on a silver fucking platter. Like, here I am, come get me.
like honestly, just leave Bella by herself for like 20 minutes and nobody's gonna have to worry about her anymore. She will destroy herself. Just give her 20 minutes.
This would have been so much better if she was just with a wolf.
Honestly.
Kiss her. CPR. Come on.
You already did.
Look at her pale blue lips. It's fucking suicidal brat.
Oh shit.
What were you thinking? I wanted to hear Edward's voice. Because of you. Harry Clearwater had a heart attack because it's your fault.
Honestly.
It's all your fault. I know we just watched it, but like, who did Charlie lose in the first one?
Some that you know in the first scene when they're at the table in the dining room and the guy's like butt crack Santa.
Oh,
Yeah.
butt crack Santa. That
Yeah.
guy. Butt crack Santa. Yes, it's a wolf thing. You could have had that, but instead you chose an icebox. Idiot. You're like your own son. Would you stop it?
Honestly.
Yeah, but the thing is, Emily was aware of the consequences. Like, they did not hide, like, Sam did not hide what he was from her.
Yeah, he did at that point. Yeah, she didn't know.
He did at that point?
Yeah.
I forgot. Forgive me. Sorry, ignore me.
I'm pretty sure at that point she didn't know what he was. I know they knew, like, they were super drawn to each other, but I don't think I think that's what their fight was over, was him not wanting to be too close to her and all that, if I remember correctly. I will verify that, though, because
Wasn't Sam with another girl? And
yeah,
then
he's
ended up
with Leah,
imprinting?
who's another wolf. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure at the time, Emily didn't know that he was a werewolf. I'll double check that though, because I'm not entirely certain. So I know it's in the
In the guide.
Yeah, in the guidebook, yeah. Because I remember reading like their origin story of all that.
I kind of wish we did video just so people can see my facial reactions to this shit.
I know, right?
Get out of the boy's lap. Get out of his lap. If you're not gonna sleep with him, get out of his lap. The poor boy's got a hard on for you, and you're just blue balling him. There's a vampire. I can smell it. I forgot who it's gonna be. It's Alice. This is Cullen territory. I can't protect you. If it's Alice, you don't need protecting.
If it's Edward, she needs protecting now.
If it's Edward, she needs a fucking smack on the face.
Doesn't she punch one of them at some point and like break her arm? She punches Jacob, right?
Yeah, she punches Jacob and she like breaks her hand or something. Oh yeah, she can't see her when she's with the wolves.
Yeah.
Why did you jump off a cliff? So I can hear my boyfriend's voice.
Yeah, so I can hallucinate.
I have never met anyone more prone to life-threatening idiocy.
That sums up Bella so well.
Yes.
Honestly.
He wants to be alone. He's gonna try and go kill himself by exposing himself to
Is
the Volturi.
Edward having his emo moments?
Edward never stopped having his emo moment.
No, that's true.
And he's like, how old?
Oh, 117.
And he's still being, I'm a vampire.
I love Alice. She's just like, werewolves are not good company to keep. But says the vampire who has definitely tried to drink her blood. It's like, your husband tried to murder her. And it's Jake that's the one that's the problem.
Right?
It's like, this boy loves you. I really wish Stephanie Meyer would have written the other books, like, with these two together, with Jake and Bella together. Like, she could have written the other ones, like the original
I would 100% read a story about Jacob finding his mate. I would 100% read it.
Not Renesmee, though. I don't know. That's so weird. But, like, I would absolutely like, even if she wanted to like rewrite them now as like like, because she wrote Midnight Sun, so why can't she just write the alternative ending to Twilight where Bella and Jacob are together? I would read that. Even today I would read that.
I would read Bella and Jacob.
Yeah. But then I guess that's what fan fiction's for. It's definitely better in fan fiction. Like, Bella needs to go find a different group of supernatural people to hang out with. People who aren't this terrible.
Go find a Kelpie. I'm sure that'll be much easier.
That is so dangerous.
But knowing her luck, I'm sure that the Kelpie will just be like, you know what? It's just you and me. We're not going to involve with anybody else.
Like, with Bella's luck, she'd find a dragon and it would make her become a part of its horde. Like, yeah, like, no.
Oh, shiny.
There's nothing shiny about Bella, but not even her intellect, but...
She's a teen. She's a saltine.
She is a saltine of a human.
Anything else you want to tell me, Jacob? I love you. Why
are you being an asshole?
Him?
She's such an asshole.
Like, he's just trying to be your friend, and you just keep shoving it in his face.
He's definitely at that line where he wants to be your friend, but he definitely just don't want to be your friend, you know?
Like we've made that clear, yes, but it's like he's also trying so hard to just be whatever you need him.
Yeah, like he genuinely just cares, and maybe you should just care.
Meanwhile, your current ex-boyfriend just wants to drink your blood.
Yeah, like your current ex-boyfriend has literally stated on more than one occasion that he wants to murder you, and left you in the woods alone, and
on multiple occasions
threw you into a wall. Just for the record.
He made you bleed more and escalated the situation. He's clearly not the right one.
He threw you into a wall and a table.
Oh, yeah, that was Edward calling.
Mm-hmm.
He's not here right now, says Jacob. Yeah, Charlie's not here. He's arranging a funeral. It's not for Bella. You overacting idiot. It was Edward. Who do you think it was? Relax, dude. Like, oh my god. Why did you let me talk to him? He didn't. He just fucking called and he's like, where's Charlie? He didn't even ask, how's Bella? Where's Charlie? That's the first thing he said. What does Jacob do? He answered. A little vague, but he answered.
I mean, you know what? Kudos to Jake, in all honesty. But, like, Edward's knee-jerk reaction after living in a shithole in, like, fucking nowhere for a while, and his first thought, call Charlie, finds out he's arranging a funeral, doesn't even hesitate. Like, the moments between when Jacob hangs up the phone after Edward calls and the moment Alice has a vision that Edward's going to go kill himself is maximum.
Yeah, Edward doesn't even ask whose funeral, because Charlie's got friends. He's a sheriff. People in the force die.
15 seconds pass before he's like, oh, she's dead. My life's over. I'm just going to die now. Like, there's no thought process to it. There's no nothing. He's just like, bam, 15 seconds later, well, my life's over. So I guess I'll go to fucking Italy and go just like have them kill me. There are other ways. Vampires, for instance, are extraordinarily flammable. He could have just made his own bonfire and jumped in
Stepped in it.
Wouldn't have
He
had
could
to
have come
go
back
anywhere.
to Forks. He could have come back to Forks and just showed himself to the werewolves and
the
be like,
wolves,
wipe my head off.
It's like, if you wanted to really suffer, I do kind of think that, like, if you jumped in a bonfire, that would probably hurt a lot.
I think if he really wanted to suffer, he would have gone to the wolves.
Yeah, like, I feel like the Volturi
specifically, he'd gone to Jacob and be like, do your worst.
Well, I don't know if he knows at this point that they're wolves, like, there's a pack. Because, like, at the time when they left, there was only Sam. Like, there wasn't really anybody else, so.
Still, he should have just gone and find Sam.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill himself. I'm not gonna let him kill himself out of guilt, even though he left you.
Like, you know what they could have done that would have just made a lot more sense is Alice or one of the others could have just fucking called the Volturi and been like, hey, Could you like tell Edward not to kill himself because his girlfriend's still alive?
Can you
Or
please tell him not to cause a scene?
like, could you just, or maybe just like, don't even tell him that. I was like, could you just hold him there until we get there? Because he's gonna just do something real fucking stupid. Or
Just
literally
have
just called somebody else, you know? Like, they know people. You're telling me you don't have a friend who could have been like, hey, Ed, yeah, no, your girlfriend, your ex-girlfriend's not dead. Don't kill yourself.
it's everything about it is just so fucked. Also, and also, where is Charlie? Like, did we not tell Charlie we're just gonna fly to fucking Italy?
And
Like, I know he's busy with the funeral and stuff, but like, the man's gonna come home, and it's like,
well, in
you
all
just
honesty,
not.
like Edward decides he's gonna go to the Volturi, right? How he gets there, I don't really know. It could have been like he could have swam, he could have like taken a plane or whatever. The other family still like the other members of the family still exist. Why didn't they all just go? You're telling me somebody else could have intercepted him first? But also, Carlisle's on great terms with the Volturi. Why didn't he just talk to them? Because Edward meets with them first before he decides to go kill himself.
As Arrow says, we can't kill. We don't want to kill you because we want to use your gift.
Yeah. Which is kind of stupid considering that Arrow has a more powerful version of Edward's gifts. You can know every thought you've ever had.
Not without cause. I'll give you cause.
I really like the chairs they're sitting in. I really want the chairs.
Grindelwald just looks so uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Figured you wouldn't be opposed to Grand Theft Auto. Not today.
When they're in the car.
He looks physically ill in this car ride. Like,
yeah, like Bella, when she's sitting in this car with Alice and just the way that she's moving, she looks like they're
she's
they're
grabbing.
driving really fast because Bella has a stomach ache and needs a restroom like ASAP.
Because she's got her hand on the dashboard and looking down like, oh god, I'm about to shit my pants. Like,
absolute look on her face.
Even now, like driving through all the people in the festival robes, like in the red robes, and she's just like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Yeah, and she just like she's having a panic attack right now.
I mean, I can kind of understand her panic because she's in a place she has no idea about.
Yeah, like if she's running around and she's panicking.
We don't like she doesn't know the layout, she doesn't know the map of the area, she's just fucking running blind.
Yeah, and like in a country where you can't even ask somebody for directions either, and it's just like, and you know it's swarming with other vampires. And in all honesty, Italy has probably just so many clock towers. How do you know you're the right one? Like, come on. The saint that they're worshiping at this festival is one of the Volturi. One of the three, yeah. It's Marcus.
The older one?
I believe so, yeah.
Arrow is the one that's Charlie Sheen. I mean, not Charlie Sheen, Michael Sheen, right?
Arrow is Michael Sheen, yeah.
I swear. This fucking part in the theater was the best.
Yeah,
when he takes his shirt off and like
yeah.
the entire audience goes quiet and one girl in the back just yells, "Ew!"
That's honestly true though.
Like, that's not attractive. I mean, it's still a body, it's nice, but it's got nothing on Jacob.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like, I would happily just eat food off of Jacob's chest.
For a city in Italy, that's not a lot of Italians.
Delusional.
And he just like Edward just thinks he's dead for like the longest time. Just like, oh, I didn't think you would be that fast. It's just like the sun didn't kill you. You didn't feel any pain.
You're still alive. Clearly, this is not a dream.
Honestly. And like she's like, I can let you go now. Like I can move on with my life, which she should have done.
Now that I've saved you, I can move on. Like, honey. I had to lie to make sure you would stop loving me. You lied and I started going delusional.
It's just like honesty, they're a good couple together because they're both equally fucked up. Like, she's willing to hallucinate to see him. He's willing to lie to her and leave her in the woods. Like, it's good that these two very toxic people contained their toxicity with each other. Because holy shit. Could you imagine them with just average people?
Yeah, their toxicity is just sending each other down like a mental spiral.
Yeah, it's just like, come on. Let them just be toxic together, I guess, because holy shit. For one thing, Jacob deserves better. But like Jacob also definitely deserves better than their weird hybrid child.
Jacob deserves better than Bella.
You notice they only put makeup on him just on his face? They didn't put makeup on any of the rest of him. The rest of him is so much darker than his face.
And that's saying something because he's still pretty white.
Yeah. I'm like, Edward, put a shirt on.
Oh, look, it's Jane. I always forget that it's Dakota.
Yeah.
You know, as I've gotten older and as they've gotten older, I like Elle a lot more.
Really?
Okay. Especially when she plays Catherine the Great.
Yeah.
Like, she's... Damn, that girl. Like, I still have to finish The Great. I'm only like 2 or 3 or 4 episodes into the second season, and I'm just like, the anxiety's getting to me. Like, the fucking Peter's antics are just getting worse and worse. I'm just like, and then you have Archie,
yeah,
who's just going even more delusional with his acid trips and talking to God. I'm like, oh,
that's weird.
Like, it's a shit show of a show, which is why like Erin told me to watch it, because she's like, it's just so fucked.
That's true. Yeah. Just yeah.
I also really like what's his name? Holt.
Okay.
The guy that plays Peter. He's also the one in Warm Bodies.
Yeah.
He's cute. I like him. So when when I first started The Great, just hearing him say, huzzah, fuck this, fuck that, fuck, I'm just like, that is so weird. Like, I haven't heard you cuss before.
Yeah.
And now every other word out of your mouth is about fucking.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird show, though.
It is. Nope, still commercial. I am on episode 2 of Umbrella Academy. I'm currently at the scene where the people are on the hunt for number 5, and the mom, robot, whatever she is just sitting embroidery while the house is being gunned down. I'm like,
honestly, it was a really good show, and I just really wish they'd hurry up and like make the next season already. Because
how many series did Gerard Way write?
I don't really know
of this.
I have no idea. I didn't really know anything about Umbrella Academy before the show came around, and then I found out Gerard Way wrote it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, I remember I didn't know anything about the comic, but I remember like everyone like, Gerard Way's comic is gonna be on Netflix. I'm like, Gerard Way wrote a comic?
Yeah, that was how I was, and I'm just like, Gerard Way wrote a comic. When did Gerard Way write a comic? But apparently a while ago. But the first season I think is really good. The second season's pretty weird. Like, even for this show, the second season was real weird. So, and then the third season, which hasn't started yet, hopefully pulls it together a little. Okay, no, wait. The first season's also weird, but in a very different way. And a little too much incest for my taste in a certain aspect.
Are we talking about big honkin' beefy guy with ex-wife?
No,
I don't want to give away names. So.
Yeah. Well, because like I've seen it, so like numbers 1 and 2, basically, they've never dated at all.
But you can like I could feel it. Like, I'm already like 2 episodes in. I'm like there's a thing here between number 1 and number 2.
and that's what I mean. Like a little too much incestiness, because like they've never dated or anything like that. But and she's got a kid, so
yeah.
But yeah, no, there's just a little too much of like I understand that you're not biologically related, but you were raised as siblings, and that's definitely close enough. It's a little weird that y'all just want to
Bang.
do that. Like I don't care whether or not you're actually
Oh,
related.
did you ever watch The Fosters
No.
on ABC Family?
Mm-mm.
So there's this lesbian couple who just adopt all these kids like that they fostered.
Yeah.
Like they have Jesus and Mariana who were twins that they adopted together. There's Brandon, the oldest, which is one of the mom's biological son from her first marriage to a man.
Mm-hmm.
So they divorced him, married the other lady
Mm-hmm.
who's a teacher, and then she's a cop. So they got Brandon, her oldest, her biological son. Then they got Mariana and Jesus, and then they got then they adopted Callie and her brother, or like they fostered Callie and her brother, right?
Okay.
The biological son, Brandon, and Callie, the fucked up teenager, are constantly trying to bang each other, and I'm like, you're gonna be adopted, like
You're
no.
Yeah, you're siblings at that point. Like I
They
hate to be the
and
one to tell you.
they do end up sleeping together like the night before the verdict of her adoption goes through because she's just like she like they were convinced that the adoption was gonna fall through because she fucked up royally again.
Yeah.
They thought it was gonna fall through, so she's like, I'm not gonna get adopted, so we might as well.
What a weird plot point.
And then the next day, it's like, Kelly, your papers came through, and it's just like, oh shit.
Yeah, that is a weird plot point and a really weird plot
Like
choice.
I followed this show for I think 4 seasons, and then I was just like, I can't anymore. Like
Yeah.
the anxiety that this show gives me, I'm like, because Callie just makes stupid mistake after stupid mistake. Like,
I
didn't you
hate that.
learn?
Yeah.
Didn't you fucking learn anything?
I hate that shit. It's just like, why do you have to make the women in these shows fucking idiots? Like, what is the point of that? And it's just a lot of
Like,
those
I
kinds of
get it,
shows
like
do
you've
that.
been fucked over a lot and you have trust issues, but like this family, like the heads of this family, these two women have clearly done nothing to to make you think that they're gonna act like any other foster family or your dad or stepdad or whatever did.
Yeah.
You've been there for like 2-3 years now, and like they have done nothing to make you think that, and yet you still act like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm just like, I'm done. I
Yeah.
can't.
There are some shows where you just kind of have to draw a line. You're like, I can't do
The
this anymore.
Magicians was one of those.
Really? I didn't see that one.
I watched seasons 1, 2, and 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the end of season 3, I was texting Erin, going like, I like what the fuck? Like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, oh, it gets worse. Because she stopped after season 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's like, do you want to know? I'm like, yes, I want to know, so I can decide if I'm going to continue with this or not.
Yeah.
And she tells me what happens in season 4. I'm like, nope, I'm out. I'm fucking out. I'm not gonna watch that. I've already cried. I don't need to cry anymore. Like,
I get that. Sometimes, especially as the seasons go on, some shows just get to the point where you just can't do it anymore. Like I've definitely quit some shows just because you're just like, seriously, like it's either gets really repetitive, or it just starts getting like into soap opera territory, or it just gets into like really weird, unnecessary territory, like
it's so much
Riverdale.
filler.
Like
So much
Riverdale,
filler.
yeah.
I never watched it. I watched
did.
Sabrina.
Yeah,
I tried watching Riverdale, and like the first episode, I was like, I couldn't stop giggling. I'm like, this is stupid.
yeah.
Sabrina, I watched, but I didn't finish it. I think I watched the first 3 seasons, and I'm like, I'm already over it.
I think it was the first 2 seasons of Riverdale, and it was just, for one thing, I don't like the fact that they're like all of the actors are adults, and like that's fine, but they're portraying teenagers and minors for that matter, and it's a lot of sex for something that's supposed to be minors, and it's just kind of like that's.
Have you seen Euphoria?
Oh, absolutely not, for many reasons. But no.
That's on my list. It's on my list. I'm just like,
I don't.
I want to watch this fucked up
I don't
shit.
watch a lot of TV anyway, but what I do watch, I'm very picky about. Like some shows, as the seasons go on, get a lot weirder and weirder as they go. Like Riverdale just continuously got freakier and freakier, and like not in any way you wanted it to. So I did stop watching that.
What is that show about? Like Sabrina, I get it. Like witches, magic, blah blah. Is Riverdale just? Does it have magic? Does it have anything supernatural? Is it just a bunch of teenagers?
Technically, they're supposed to be in the same universe, both of those
Right, because they talk
shows.
about they mentioned Riverdale in Sabrina, and they live in
Yeah,
Greendale.
but like there isn't any magic actually addressed. Like there's like what people think is a creature for a while and they're not really sure what it is, but it's a dude in a mask. Like it's not anything actual supernatural. There aren't any real supernatural elements that I encountered in the seasons that I watched. Um it is about some teenagers in high school.
They're
Starts off with
preppy,
a
aren't they? Like
what?
preppy teenagers, like rich kids.
Um Yeah, more or less. Like one of like a couple of them are like pretty rich, and then like one of them's like like it's based off of the Archie and Jughead comics.
Right, right. Well, I never
And
read them, but yeah.
yeah, and it's, well, you don't have to because the only thing they have in common are the names of the characters. And
Who's Archie? Is that Sprouse?
no, he's
Okay,
Jughead.
oh, he's Jughead.
Yeah. Which for the record, by the way, in canon in the comic books, Jughead is an asexual character. And Sprouse petitioned the like the writers and everything to keep him that way, and they wouldn't let him.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, trust me, everybody in that show is having sex with each other. Like they're I don't
with each other.
pretty much, yeah. Like just everybody's just fucking having sex and making out like 24/7, and it was one of the reasons I just stopped watching the show because it was 90% of the plot in certain episodes was just like
And that
having
is
sex with each other.
that
And
is
like
so not you.
well, yeah, definitely not me, but like at one point like Archie's having like sex with a teacher, and like yeah, that's his first relationship is he's having sex with a teacher.
Ugh.
And like they're all just sleeping around with each other, and at one point like one of them uh starts into this weird role play BDSM kind of thing and starts considering getting into like videos, but
Oh
like
no.
streaming videos.
So
And I
like a
don't know
cam
if
person?
yeah, and like I don't know if she ever actually does it, but her brother, the drug addict, is the one who suggested it to her.
Of course he did.
Yeah, and it's
Hey
just like
sis, you can make so much money being a cam girl.
yeah, and it's just kind of like it was a lot of like these people are getting murdered and these teenagers are investigating the murder and the cops are just cool with it and like are just totally down. There's some gangs, there's fighting, lots of death, um, a lot of sleeping around, and other people finding out like that they're related to each other, and some incest too, like between the
Great.
twins, yeah, and just really real fucking weird. And I'm telling you, everybody's sleeping with everyone, and I'm just like I can't do this. Like this is the worst, one of the worst shows I've ever watched. And I'm just like, and
Like
just
I can see why Euphoria is not on your list.
no. Well, those kinds of shows just aren't on my list. That style of drama just doesn't interest me. In
The
all
teenage
honesty,
chaos.
well, just I'm not really all that interested in watching like drama shows based in something that there's no fantasy or fiction elements to it. Like it's
Gotcha.
just based in like reality. Like
I gotcha.
Euphoria is absolutely a real scenario that could definitely happen. And Riverdale's not because in no scenario, in no world are cops letting teenagers investigate murders for them on their behalf, and then also being the reporters and writing the news articles about it. Yeah, at the same time,
Okay.
yeah, and just like going to different places and investigating while just sleeping with everybody they encounter. Like that's definitely just not something that's happening in reality, but it was also just really I'm not interested in that kind of drama. That all
Fair.
that kind of like sleeping around with each other and then just like the petty drama and the arguing and like all of that and like just the petty like school
Uh,
shit. And I'm just like I don't like watching things based in high schools because like I went to high school and I didn't enjoy it. I don't really want to watch other people not enjoy it either. So I just no. Some of it. One of the same reasons that I don't like Vampire Diaries, the same reason I don't like Riverdale, in that this is a lot of like teenagers having responsibilities that they definitely shouldn't because adults fucking exist. But for the same reasons I don't like Vampire Diaries, the same reasons I don't like Riverdale, is the fact that one, just teenagers just in charge of like world ending shit and it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Two, petty stupid high school drama that I can't fucking stand. Also, and probably my biggest issue, is the fact that every single piece of drama in these shows could be resolved with a conversation. Not like a lot of conversation, not like talking to 20 people. If just two people sat down for about 5 seconds and just said, hey, oh, by the way, and then just fucking said what had happened recently, or just had a conversation, a normal fucking conversation. And I hate miscommunication tropes. I hate, or just stupid shit that like could have just been resolved if people would have just bothered to have a conversation with one another. And I hate that shit. And that's all those shows are, is miscommunications, sex, and petty ass drama. And I can't stand any of that.
Like when I was younger, I enjoyed those, those high school drama stuff because like it was so different than the high school, the high school experience that I had.
Yeah.
And as far as the sex goes, I'm like, okay, yeah, but like it's a thing that happens. Like kids are having sex in high school.
Yeah, I just don't want to see it.
That's fair.
And it's just like that all of those shows, especially Riverdale, is just fucking full of sex. Every episode is sex, and it's just like, why? What is the point of
for
this?
The teenagers?
And it's just like, I don't want to watch it. I didn't want to watch it when I was a teenager. I don't want to watch it now. All right, let's watch the last 30 minutes of fucking Twilight. I'm so sick of this movie.
All right, we're now entering the vault of the Volturi, and
put
he's
him in
a silk red robe. Silk.
Being followed by like a 10-year-old. 1,000-year-old, 10-year-old. Yeah, let's just all, get awkwardly into it.
What was her brother's name?
Alec? I think it was Jane and Alec. For a 10-year-old, she's taller than the other two women.
Because Dakota's not really 10.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, human. Snack for later.
Why are they whispering? Literally everyone can hear her.
Use your brain, you idiot. She's a snack.
No shit.
Or dessert. Either way, she will be eaten.
Arrow's been alive for like several thousand years. You'd think he would have like iron control. So why is he still touching you? If Arrow can read every thought you've ever had with one touch. He hangs on to Edward a lot.
A lot. Can't read it, can you?
He's into everybody's powers.
You can't read her thoughts. Meanwhile, Grindelwald is just like trying not to launch out of his chair. Look at him. He's just like, I will not breathe. I will not move. I will not blink.
Right.
You cracked his face.
Yeah, because they're technically like a more marble consistency, so they don't like...
Oh yeah, I forgot about the marble consistency part.
Yeah, it's not like flesh, so they crack and they break apart.
Like, you're just making it worse, Edward. Like, if you just let Felix try and do whatever he was gonna do to her...
He was gonna kill her.
Doesn't Felix... What was his power again?
It's like this weird gray tenderly smoke that when it gets to you, it causes you pain. Yeah.
Kill me, the human, but not him.
Yeah, she just immediately pleads for them to kill her. Like, somebody just kill this girl already, because Jesus.
I would gladly be like, she's annoying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do they all think they're soulless?
Because clearly the fucking head of the vampires are in Italy, a highly Catholic region.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that one.
So clearly they're gonna think that, oh no, we're all damned.
That's fair. I'll give you that one.
And yet they do nothing to like help their immortal soul. They're just like,
no, they just kill more people.
We're gonna continue killing more.
They're of that mindset of, well, I'm already damned, so I might as well just make the best of it.
No, you won't. You will not change her yourself, Alice, but she will become one of you. That is a fact.
It's really weird to me that they like filmed the scene of her as a vampire so much sooner than any of the scenes where she's actually a vampire.
Also, just because she's a vampire does not mean Bella's gonna wear a fucking dress. She's not a dress type person.
No. So why they put her in a dress is weird to me. It's like, dude, creepy dude, don't touch me.
Right? Like, do not whisper and touch me at the same time. Just stay away.
Yeah.
Go now. Make your preparations for her turn. Why does Marcus look like he's drunk?
Marcus doesn't. What we've learned is that with the Vulturian, one of the reasons Marcus looks the way he does is he doesn't move. And if vampires don't have to breathe, they don't have to move, they don't have to do anything. But if they stay in one place for too long, they petrify and they start to go through the process of petrification, and that will kill them too. But Marcus doesn't move very often, and he doesn't do much of anything very often since his mate is dead. Murder, which is his mate, was Arrow's sister, who Arrow had murdered.
Right, but Marcus doesn't know that Arrow was the reason that she's
Correct.
dead.
Yeah. So Marcus doesn't really want to do anything anymore, so he just kind of sits there and doesn't do anything.
He's given up.
Yeah, he's beginning to petrify. The only reason he hasn't just died is because Arrow won't let him.
Now explain to me again why Arrow had his sister killed.
So
jealousy?
Kind of. Arrow wanted to start the Volturi, and he wanted like this ultimate powerful like thing. And Marcus and the Cassius were down for it. And then Marcus met Arrow's sister, who became his mate, and they decided they wanted to go off and start their own lives together, as like a happy married couple and all that. And
lie low and just do whatever.
Yeah, and just like Arrow didn't like that. He wanted, his dynasty of ultimate power, and he thought he could only have that with the three of them together. So since his sister was the one who wanted Marcus to leave so that they could go like have their own
eliminate that, yeah. Marcus stays.
Yeah, so he had her killed in order to keep the Volturi together.
Of course. Save some for me. Save some of the tourists for me. I would like a snack.
They're so concerned about their immortal souls, but when the vampire tour guide guides like 30 children down into this tomb to be murdered, they just don't really care.
We're still having nightmares even though he's standing right there in your room.
I like how it just flashes from being in Italy. Just
do you see, Edward, what you did? Like, this is how bad you are for her.
No shit.
Because you thought you were protecting her. You thought. You did not ask. Like you said, they did not have a conversation. He just decided, this is the route of action that I'm going to take, and I'm going to do it.
And that's all Edward ever does, is he doesn't consult her on anything, despite the fact that it's all choices about her own life. He's just like, no, it is her life
good. Talking about. Talk to her about decisions that you want to make as a couple.
Yeah.
Or just as friends, like as people.
Or just respect the fact that she's a fucking person and that you don't just get to decide everything about her life.
That too, like you deciding what you think is best for her is clearly not what is best for her.
Yeah, like you have ruined this girl many years in a row at this point. Like, just at least talk to her, have a conversation with her. Jesus Christ, stop leaving her in the woods. Like, clearly your decisions are flawed.
Charlie's got a point. It's like, last time you said those exact words, you disappeared.
Again, she does that a lot. She just walks out on Charlie.
Again, she's also bad at communication. Like, she doesn't even have a conversation with Charlie. It's just gone.
Yeah.
You're grounded. Okay. Because Bella's like, I deserve that.
Yeah.
Lol. Charlie said I can't step in through the door. I mean, I came in through the window. I'm not breaking any rules.
So much for, like, following the rules and everything, so.
Right? Charlie's not going to forgive you because he saw the outcome.
Charlie is absolutely in his right to hate your fucking guts.
Oh, yes, he is. He's like, I saw what you did.
Yeah, like, absolutely understand.
What your actions caused. my daughter.
Absolutely understands how toxic Edward is.
It's like, I didn't sleep for months because she would wake up in the middle of the night screaming.
It's like, I might not have gotten her therapy, but I know you're not any good for her.
It's like my relationship with her mother clearly didn't work out, but even I can see that this is not good. You can't get rid of me. Not unless someone kills you. I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute to go assassinate you.
I still really like their house.
Shut up, Edward.
It's about time that Bella tells Edward to shut the
Let her
fuck
decide
up.
what she wants to do with her soul.
What did they do to his hair?
Honesty. With the honesty, I love it. It's like, it'd be nice to have you around and not want to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you saved my brother, but I still don't want you as a vampire.
Right. The thing about Rosalie is just like, Rosalie, this isn't the life I wouldn't have chosen for myself. Just like, well, it's a good thing it's not your life then. It's mine.
Yeah, it's not your life. It's Bella's life. It's her choice. You didn't get a choice because you were dying. But I mean, at the same time, you did get a choice. Because, like, Carlisle gave you the option. Do you want to die or do you want me to save you?
Yeah.
We're not doing it to you, you fucker.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Is spending eternity with Bella a punishment? Like, if you don't turn
your
her,
family's not punishing you.
Yeah, like the Volturi are gonna come for them if, like, they don't turn her, and they're gonna come anyway to check to make sure she was turned. So you don't really have a choice, actually.
Yeah, you don't have a fucking choice. Like,
you either kill her now or they kill her in like a year.
Hi, Jacob. Ow.
Why do they always do these dramatic conversations in the woods? Just fucking pick up a phone. Just fucking call somebody. Cell phones were real then.
I'm grateful you kept my girl safe, even though I'm the reason she was so fucked.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm the reason she was fucked up and in danger multiple ways.
Edward is so dismissive, like,
of everyone and everything, because everything is about Edward, according to Edward. And
another alpha hole. You won't let me?
Yeah, Jacob is like, I won't let you be turned. I won't let you make that choice. It's just like, really, Bella needs people in her life who don't try to control absolutely everything about her life. She really just should have been with Jake.
Bella and Jacob makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Because he's not toxic.
Honestly. Well, he's starting to be.
Some toxic traits.
Yeah. He's starting to be.
But he's not like...
He's nothing like Edward at all.
He's not gonna just fucking up and leave her and have her, like,
yeah, he wouldn't abandon her in the woods. He wouldn't leave her to die. He wouldn't just, like... And he also wouldn't try to kill himself the second she wasn't around.
Yeah, he's not gonna go to Sam and be like, rip my head off.
That's such a shitty thing to say to Jacob, too. It's just like...
Sorry, it's always been the cold one.
Yeah, Bella's standing there and just looks him dead in the eyes. It's like, it's always been him. And it just, like, destroying this kid in one sentence. And it is so
Doesn't he,
up.
Doesn't he disappear?
Yeah.
In, like, Eclipse? Like, he's just fucking gone to, like, clear his head and shit?
Yeah, at the end of Eclipse, he disappears.
At the end of Eclipse or at the end of this?
I think at the end of Eclipse. Because he's present for the fight. He's in the fight.
Oh, yeah, he is in the fight.
I think he disappears after that. I will never understand why these two guys are fighting over this girl. She's not.
Everyone wants a piece of her. Mike wants a piece of her.
Yeah.
Like why?
Her superpower.
There's nothing special about this girl.
Her superpower should be that she's a succubus more than anything. Because holy shit.
She's a saltine.
She's a saltine of a person. And I do believe we have now reached the end of New Moon. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Please just wait. Wait till what? Till we're married? I don't want to get married.
Yeah, she didn't want to get married. She didn't want to have kids. She didn't want to
5
do any of
years.
that.
He wants her to wait 5 years. And she's like, I'm gonna be like 23 by then. You're gonna stay at 17. No.
That is weird.
Down to 3.
Yeah.
No shit. What are you waiting for to save your immortal soul?
Well, the worst part is that according to Stephanie Meyer, her vampires don't gain emotional maturity. They're stuck in this maturity state that they're in, which means there's a lot of teenage vampires running around. And that's why Edward is the way he is. He's constantly 17. Any other final thoughts?
No.
Mine are Edward's even more toxic than he was before. And the biggest danger in the entire series to Bella is Edward and Edward's own actions. And he proposes at the end of New Moon, which
in
is
the woods. Again, in the woods. What?
in the woods. He takes her into the woods a lot. And like I get Washington's a lot of woods, but
serial killer much?
yeah, and like Edward's just such a toxic person, and she definitely should have just been with Jacob because Jacob's a much better person than Edward is. Wouldn't leave her in the woods. Wouldn't force her
I
to
get
choose.
cold
Wouldn't
feet. My feet get cold. I want a warm body. I don't want.
see. I'm the opposite. I'm constantly getting really hot. So like the cold person would probably actually be really nice for me. However, I am allergic to the cold, so and I do get hives when I get cold. So Jacob would probably be the better bet. Also, the only appeal to the vampirism is one, after a while you become rich, and two,
if you do it right.
Yeah, well, if you do it right, one, you become rich, and two, the immortal part does appeal to me. I will admit. Now, those are the only two appealing parts about being a vampire. Everything else is much more appealing about the shapeshifter.
The immortal thing is cool.
The immortal thing you can get out of the shapeshifters too if you're a shapeshifter.
True, yeah. Like it's
so
yeah. Extended lifespan and stuff, but it's like, do I want to live that long? Like everyone I know in my current lifetime will be dust.
Well, the nice thing about being a shapeshifter is if you don't want to be immortal anymore, just stop shifting and you'll start to age again.
Right, because then
you could just choose it if you wanted to. Like if you just want to be healthy, 20s, early 30s ish, something like, physique, because apparently as soon as you transform, you just get abs. Like it's just like instantaneous abs, because at no point did Jacob work out at all. You could just do that for like a couple decades and then just start to age after that. So, just be 20 somethings for like until you're actually 50 and then go from there. So, I would prefer probably to be a shifter just for many reasons. I'd still like to eat. Like I don't like the idea of never being able to have Panda Express again. Like that just sounds like it fucking sucks. Like no.
Oh my god, do you remember when we went on a hunt in Philly to find Panda Express and we couldn't find any?
Oh my god, what is it? We found Mandarin Express instead.
Some kind of Chinese like mall food.
Yeah.
And we're just like,
we hunted so hard for Panda Express and they just didn't deliver at all, and not in the way.
I think if we had gone into the city and not into the suburbs, like we would have actually found some panda.
Well, the thing is like we looked on like we Googled like the maps for it, and we went to the one that said it was closest to us, and then we get to the mall and it's a Mandarin Express, not a Panda Express, and it just wasn't nearly as good as Panda Express was. And then the next one I think was like an hour away or something like that. And we were
hang on. I'm going to go into Philly. I'm going to look right now. Panda Express. See all locations. Panda Express. There's one on Market Street. There's literally one in Center City.
Yeah, that was like those were our options. So we weren't gonna do that because holy shit. Because that was also the day we went to check out the Barnes and the Castles and Poor People that we considered our rival.
Yes, that's where everybody went to visit our rival store.
Yeah, because that's where like half of the staff was from, and they just kept going on and on about how awesome that store was. And we're like, what the fuck is making the store so cool? And then we went there, and it was just as cool as like they said it was.
Right? It was just like, we walked in, we're like, oh.
Like, it was this
I get
really
it.
nice brick building, and their cafe was really nice. It, like, had all this stuff we didn't have, and I'm just
Then we
like,
walked
"Oh."
out grumbling because we can't say shit about it because it is as
Yeah,
nice
and,
as
like,
it's.
isn't that what had, like, the service computers for people to use, like, look up books and everything? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only castles and poor people I've ever been in that actually had those, and I'm just like, "Oh, this is why people think it's really cool. It's really fucking cool." And then we were both mad about it because it was a lot cooler than our parts or our castles and poor people, so it was just really mad that it was so much better than our castles and poor people. But it all that's where they had like the Oreo cheesecake and everything. It was just really
Yeah.
good, and like their cafe manager was like really cool too, who I'd met before. And it's just like, yeah, no, I get why people like this store. It is better than ours. It's just being mad about it. Oh, well, I can't believe we got through a Twilight movie again
I
in one
know.
sitting. And it's just like we're actually making progress. I think this is
And
progress.
it's not even that late.
Well, it's
It's late
12:30
for
here.
you. It's
Yeah,
late for you, but like
it's
it's
12:30 here, yeah, but we were actually, like, watching the movie at, like, 10 something, and I'm like, "That's a lot better than we've been doing."
right?
So, yeah, you know what? It's just a lot of progress. We're getting better at this. So
Mm-hmm.
that's fair. We're getting better at this. So, hey, I'm impressed with us. So, and,
Just gonna tap myself on the shoulder.
I
There you
know,
go.
right? It's just like and so if we do one of these a week, so next week will be Eclipse and then Breaking Dawn, and we will actually start Harry Potter this month. So that's be
Erin's so
interesting.
excited. I'm so
And she's
excited, but
yeah, like Erin claimed movie
4.
4, right? 4. Okay.
Yeah. I did tell her that she's allowed, she's allowed. If she wants to, she can come on more than just movie 4.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'm just like, you can come on, because like you and I want to do one on our own. I'm like, you can do 2, 3, 4, whatever you want. She's like, I have nothing bad to say about 3.
That's fair. I don't either. Not yet.
like,
Well, I
like
do, but it's
Azkaban is
serious.
gonna be, I think, our shortest review.
Yeah, because the Azkaban movie was really good. So
The movie was good. The book was good. Like,
I was recently reading Harry Potter fan fiction.
oh
And I read
boy.
a lot of Harry Potter fan fiction. Let me tell you something. The one I'm reading right now is very good. For one thing, they've made an effort to be like culturally diverse in there
Oh,
because there's a lot of headcanons that Harry and Hermione are not white. And
okay.
because none of the books actually specifically state the color of either of their skins.
Not just
And
their hair, eye
yeah,
color, hair.
and
Yeah.
well, yeah, like they tell you what color Harry's hair is, but they don't do so much detail about the color of Hermione's hair. They just how much of it that's like bushy
It's
and stuff like
bushy.
that.
Yeah.
So there's a strong headcanon out there that Hermione is black, but there's also a strong headcanon out there that Harry is Indian, like from India. And
Yeah.
and this fic that I'm reading it went down that direction, but it also went down a lot of other like culturally diverse directions too, of just like a lot of like LGBT inclusion and like all kinds of different stuff. And it's really good. And
Cool.
yeah, and I'm just like I was actually really impressed because I didn't have like a lot of high hopes for it, but because it's been a while since I've read like a Harry Potter fan fiction that I just thought was great, and this one's
Mhm.
genuinely great because they actually really have dived into like pureblood culture and what it means,
Okay.
and like seriously into pureblood culture and like the traditions and like what it all means, and like um the different species. Like they went into like the mer people and like their government, and then like
We
some
know
of
nothing about the
yeah,
myrrh in this world.
and like so many of the different species, they went into like depth about house elves and how their magic works and why they have to like be bound to wizards and stuff like that in a way that actually makes sense and not just like an absolute servitude kind of way.
Mhm.
It's really good, and I'm very impressed so far. And I thought I was really far into it, and it's a still in progress story, and I don't like to start still in progress stories, but because sometimes they don't finish them. And I thought I
Right.
was really far into it because it's got like 22 chapters or something at the moment, and I was on chapter 3. I'm just like fuck, because it's a really long. It's a really really long fic because it keeps track of the words. It's over 100,000 words.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you, I have a hard time reading like a single novel anymore, but I have definitely sat down and read books much bigger and than the Harry Potter series, just in fan fiction as a whole. So it's because I
there
read a lot of fan fiction.
there is a duology that I think you would like based on
Yeah.
what you just talked about, this fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
It is just 2 books. It's the first one's called Mirage, and the second one is called The Court of Lions, and they're by Sumaya Dowd.
Okay.
I cried in the beginning of the first one,
Yeah.
and then I finished the second one crying in my kitchen.
Oh. And I do stand corrected. This one is a work in progress at 28 chapters
28
and
chapters.
440,000 words.
Jesus. I mean,
Yeah.
send me this. I will eventually read it because I'm interested.
It's very good, and I'll tell you straight off
Where
the
is it?
bat.
AO3?
Yeah, I'll tell you straight off the bat. It is this is a pairing I don't read very often, but because it just doesn't interest me that much. But it is a Harry Draco ship, so I don't read it very
That's
often.
so spicy.
No, because it starts in their second year. So
I know, but like
4th year at the moment. So, but I don't
the
read.
sass in that relationship.
Yeah, I don't read that pairing very often because I don't really like that pairing. But I
I
decided to
really
give it
love the Draco Hermione pairing.
Oh yeah, no, that is my ultimate pairing. Is Draco and Hermione. Anything, any trope, any subject, any whatever that you would like to ever read about the Harry Draco shit, or not the Harry Draco, the Hermione Draco ship, you let me know. I've been reading fan fiction for these for more than a decade. So
I love the one bed trope. Do they have that for Draco Hermione?
oh, of course they do.
Okay.
Absolutely, of course they do.
I want the one bed trope.
If you go on fanfic.net, they have almost 1 million fan fictions on there. And then if you go on AO3, they have over 300,000. I think it's like 300,000 fics. And fanfiction.net is old, by the way. And so if you want the older fandoms, you have to go over there. But AO3 has a lot of the more current stuff and a lot of the bigger stuff. But hands down, I love the Harry Potter series. I really, really do. It does not have a lot of inclusion of either people of color or people who are LGBT, and just as a baseline. However, the fan fiction does not have that issue. It is very inclusive, and this is easily one of the most inclusive fics I've ever read, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And so it's really, really good. It's a soulmate trope too.
Aww.
Yeah.
Alright, Harry Potter. It's the first one up there.
Oh, no wonder it's so good. It's just an author I follow. I didn't realize the one I was reading was an author I follow.
Can I search one bed trope?
Probably. It's really hard to search on fanfic.net, but it's a lot easier to search on AO3 because you get to search by hashtags.
Oh yeah.
But shout out to Shauna Storyteller on AO3 because I've definitely been following this person for a while and didn't realize the fic I was currently reading was by her. But she's one of the best that there is. So
cool.
Yeah. I'll have to send it to you because it is genuinely and it really delves into Sirius and his relationship with Remus and all this. It's so good, girl. And there's a lot of culturally relevant aspects to it too. It dives into Beauxbatons, and it dives into the Harry's own heritage as Indian and everything like that. It's really good. I'll have to send it to you. It's definitely something I recommend. But
Ron is what, Irish because he's a redhead?
Yeah. They didn't change Ron from canon. They didn't change his ethnicity from canon. He is much smarter in this go round, but they're all a lot more agreeable because Harry and Draco are soulmates. Their friend group kind of merges and it changes a lot, but in a really good way. So I'm
interested. I must tell Aaron.
I definitely recommend it. Yeah, if y'all ever need Harry Potter fanfic recommendations, you just have to ask.
Oh,
I am not joking when I say I've been reading them for probably 15 years.
Aaron reads fanfic. I have not delved into fanfic. I only read one and it was short and I fucking lost my mind because it was about Sora and Riku.
Yeah, no. It's the thing about it is when you start
And
reading
all I remember from this fanfic was like they're what, 16 years old? They're at one of the other's house and they're trying to study while Sora is sitting in Riku's lap in the recliner, and like Riku takes off his glasses slowly and like takes off his socks. I'm just like, this is so cringy.
That's weird. That's really weird. The thing about reading fan fiction is when you first start out, and if you just do it on your own, you have no idea how to like filter for things, and like filter for things in a way that you're getting quality stuff rather than just a bunch of garbage. And I definitely have learned over the years what is garbage and what is not, and how to like filter it out. But the Harry Potter fan fiction is some of the best fan fiction I've ever read, because these are fan fictions that outstrip the novels by leaps and bounds. Like the original novels, I love the original novels. I have absolutely read dozens of fan fictions that are far better than the novels ever thought about being, in many ways, whether it's just plot in general or just overall like the inclusivity of it, like one of these fictions that like includes like races and genders and stuff like that, or just generally just the writing style is better. Like even if it's just kind of like a rewrite of some of the like of the books themselves, they're just better. And I love it. I love Harry Potter fan fiction is easily the best fan fiction I've ever read. As a fandom, they have the best fan fiction writers that there is.
Now, I'm not a, I have not delved into fan fiction. Like I have only read what Aaron has thrown my way, and it's usually been Kyluk stuff.
Okay.
And I don't know the Star Wars world as well as she does, but I'm just sitting there going, this is some spicy General Hux and Kylo Ren, and I'm like, ooh.
That's fair. There is a lot of spice in fan fiction. There's a lot of that doesn't have spice, but you can filter for those things.
Yeah.
And I've read everything across the spectrum. Like I read fan fiction, nothing surprises me anymore. And like seriously, if you like, when I tell you everything is in fan fiction, if you would like to read a fan fiction about Hermione and the Sorting Hat, you could do that.
Oh God!
I've come across
How do you fuck a hat? How do you fuck a?
Look, I've seen this fan fiction. It exists. If you want me to send it to you, I will. But like everything under the sun exists in fan fiction that you can think of. Some of it you wish it didn't, like that one. But some of them, like the fiction I will send you, are just amazing.
Like, yeah, send me the good plots and the good tropes and stuff like that.
If you are a Draco and Hermione shipper, which thank God somebody else is, because I don't know any.
I'm a Draco Hermione shipper.
Yeah. I will send you my favorite fanfiction of all time, which is called Almost Always Pure. And it is one of the best fan fictions I've ever read in my entire life. And it goes back and forth between Hermione's time period and Regulus.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's really good. It's really, really fucking good. So I will have to send that one to you. Because that one is my favorite fan fiction of all time. And I will read it. I've read it many times. It's kind of long. But it's one of the best ones that there is, and you'll love it. But getting into fan fiction is interesting, because I read a lot of novels, and then I got into fan fiction, and now I read a lot of fan fiction and less novels. So if you decide you're interested in fan fiction, just let me know, and I can help you sort through some of the bad shit. Give you some 15 years worth of tips and tricks.
Yes, please.
Some of it's really good. Some of it's garbage. Some of it's really good.
That's fine.
All right. We accomplished New Moon.
We did New Moon!
Thank God. Oh. And then next week, Eclipse. And then by the end of the month, we'll actually have, I think, 2 Harry Potter ones done. So.
Excitement.
I know.
Tune in next week for more fuckery, because we have some serious questions and concerns. Nom 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 cookie.